Welcome back, everybody. I've got today is a very interesting new development. Today is the FAQs for the chapter approved have come out from 2018 chapter approved, and an interesting development is that I know a lot of people have been talking about it because there was a lot of confusion about it, and they finally addressed it. The Storm Shields issue for Thunderwolf Cavalry. Yes, they have not changed. Thunderwolf Cavalry Storm Shields are still 10 points. So that's it. So first off, I'm gonna run it out. Hold on, I completely forgot to pull it up. Isn't that funny? But while I'm doing this, I recently had an interesting search the other day, and I found out that the Wolfen models are not on the Games Workshop website. So basically they're getting repackaged or something. I'm never always sure. It's always one thing here, one thing there. So let's see here. Chapter approved FAQs. Now here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to be listing off I'm just going to be chattering around with the errata and also some Space Wolf points when it comes to the changes. Let's see, and then remember, this is the video for practically everybody. Let's see here. Errata, page 10. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to say that this is just going to be... I know this is kind of on the fly, but I'm just going to say that a lot of stuff has changed. Some things have been corrected. Some areas have been adjusted. In fact, in the description of this, you will find the links to the FAQs and the changes. But it's like a lot of people were complaining that Thunderwolf Cavalry, if the points don't go down for Thunderwolf Cavalry, then they fear that what's going to happen is that they're not going to be able to be taken. And the problem is, and I was talking with this on the 40K, on the Space Wolf 40K Facebook group, and we were all talking, and I just found it very interesting that that you can't keep trying to chase meta. That's one of the hard parts. And when it comes to things like, okay, I've got a unit of Thunderwolf Cavalry. How am I going to use this? I can't. The thing is that back in the older editions, Thunderwolf Cavalry was used as a way to. Sorry, I need to take my glasses off for a second and let my eyes rest. But what you had to do is that with the with Thunderwolf Cavalry, it used to be this. Okay, I could deploy an entire squad. Not like an entire squad, but an entire army of Thunderwolf Cavalry, and I could beat my opponent in maybe 2-3 turns if I had my entire army comprised of Thunderwolf Cavalry. But it's like people are pretty upset that they can't enter ruins, or they can't go onto the top or onto the next level of a ruin building. And so it means that they kind of used logic and said these guys are too big to enter into a building into normal Imperial buildings, not like Space Wolves buildings where they can actually enter in. But one of the things is that you have to realize your imagination is the limit. I know and also your wallet is the limit, but it's how you play it's how you play the unit. I mean, like you could do two units of Thunderwolf cavalry, have them on the left and right flanks, then kind of create a pincer move. If you're going to be basically try and force your opponent into a position where they can have a very hard time getting out of those ruins. You could turn those ruins into a trap for them, where you can just simply say, okay, my Thunderwolf cavalry will if you try to leave these ruins, my Thunderwolf cavalry will either get you, but if I keep you in there long enough, then I'll send another unit to clear you out, or I will hit you with my artillery and just bombard you until you're gone. That's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. That's a fun thought. It doesn't have to be a good idea. It could just be a fun thought. Like I'm saying, your imagination is the limit to what you can do in this game. In fact, this game is like what? It's about what? 90% imagination, 10% or I would say 70% imagination, 30% logic, logical strategic thinking, and it's like. And that's what drives it. That's what makes it an incredible game. So anyway, let's go into now. Now here's the thing. A lot of people were complaining about how the we're like trying to figure out. Okay, does the Indomitus Crusade specialist detachments work for like vanilla Space Marines work with the other Space Marine chapters? And they corrected that problem. And well, not really corrected it. It's just that they let people know this is what we're doing. This doesn't affect. And it says here that, and this is the question. Is a Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, or Death Watch detachment also a Space Marines detachment? And they answered no. As defined in Codex Space Marines, a Space Marine detachment is a detachment that only includes units with one of the following faction keywords. Chapter, Ultramarines, Imperial Fists, Salamanders, White Scars, Raven Guard, Iron Hands, Crimson Fists, and Black Templars. Now, the thing is that I've been noticing is that people are trying so hard to kind of get that Super Friends mixed soup feeling that they got in the 7th and 6th editions, where allied units where you could mix and match units, and like, I can use put in the most powerful units from multiple armies and just have them support each other with their alliance abilities and all that, which to me broke the game. And as I've been telling in a lot of my videos, that of course 7th and 6th edition bloated. Game was breaking down because there were too many super powerful rules and way too many. Okay, I can't break this army because you get a 2+ invul save with re-rollable. And I say that so much, and it's like it's still relevant to the. It's like you do not want to have another repeat of that issue. But I've been going over regarding Thunderwolves, I've been going over the codex here for a bit of time, trying to figure out, okay, maybe we can try to find ways to kind of improve them or even supplement the effectiveness. Because for one thing, Wolfen, they have a 2+. Their storm shields are 2 points now, so that makes them a much cheaper. So let's see here. Let's see what a good idea. Overwhelming savagery is a stratagem. Use a stratagem in the fight phase. Choose a unit of Thunderwolf cavalry from your army. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for that unit in this phase. That way, so basically, you can use that to like say if you have something a character that makes it so that they reroll failed wounds, because no, reroll failed wound rolls of 1. That sorry, I was thinking of like, okay, meaning that you have a wolf lord right with a wolf lord on a thunderwolf right next to them, and they can use the overwhelming savagery ability to reroll failed wound rolls of 1, meaning boom, you got yourself all, boom, you got all this stuff that you can just sorry, it's like, oh, hits on 2. Oh, I charged. Hits on 2s. Rerolls wound rolls of 1, hit rolls of 1, and reroll wound rolls of 1. Yeah, and let's see. Treasure of the Slain, maybe if you could give it a little extra. And it's a lot to work. It's a lot to work in. Really, it is. You have to. It depends. In a lot of areas, it depends on what you've got. So like think of new ways, like lay a trap, lay an ambush, lay a trap and stop them from trying to get in. From trying to get out, and then it's like you've got the packs of wolves circling around the building, and it's like you trying to get away from them, they'll get you. So anyway, I'm just signing off right now. So hope you have a good night.